on the other side.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so, yeah, so we're live on YouTube. Okay. I already told HBAT, so we should be good. Anyone watching on YouTube?
Oh, okay.
It's just a good way for us to keep all our training for everybody to watch.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
what's up, man?
Okay.
So here we go. We need to make sure we're in.
So how many viewers do we get?
Well, we're trying to get everybody to subscribe to it, but they can still watch via Zoom.
Oh.
And
Is it recorded?
Yeah, it's still recorded and saved on Zoom, but, this is easier, plus it'll save it on YouTube. You know, so I don't have to download Zoom link. It's on the web. It's
Yeah.
all over the library.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. Let's see. Probably needs command, right? What's that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna come back to you tonight. Let's see what's on YouTube. Okay. Yep. I'll figure out something. Did you subscribe to our channel yet?
I'm going to right now. It's Zach. Hey, buddy, we're in your office. Let's see, new tech stuff. So, and then I'm showing this right now. I'm gonna have some she has property. I called him, he didn't answer. I think I left him a message to call me back. Custom she has? Yeah. Women's property. Custom shy? Shy. Here's a condo in Dearborn. Sounds good.
Good morning.
Hello,
How are you?
how are you?
Yeah. Do we have practice day?
Yeah.
Okay. How's it going? Did you go to the family reunion or no?
No, too busy.
Yeah, I had my son this came in Texas, so I didn't go either.
Oh, you went to Texas?
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
Good,
It was
good.
hot.
Yesterday was 80,
Wow.
the day before was 70, and then when we got there it was like 50. And so yeah, he played, he did really good.
What does he play?
Baseball.
Let's say, let's say.
Uh,
So, hey, what's that? This class.
Morning.
Hi, brother. Hi, Sonia, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
What was the trip? Huh?
It was very nice.
I support each day.
Thank you.
Morning.
So how's the 5 cents?
Huh?
How's the 5 cents?
What?
How's the 5 cents?
What 5 cents?
The baseball, the ball, I mean, the baseball at the bat.
Because it's $1 more,
Yeah,
so it's 5 cents. Because if it was 10 cents, then the total would be 120. You get it? $1 more than the bet.
We're on live.
So the bet would have to
Yeah,
equal
yeah,
$1.05.
Yeah, you're right, you are. It's just really, it's what he said.
Yeah.
It's just-
Wait, don't we gotta like go around and be like, hey, it's not key, it's.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Oh, you're a loan officer too.
Yes,
That's great.
yeah, I never told you, oh my gosh, I'm doing so bad. But you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking I was gonna go around the office when I get my business cards.
Uh-huh.
They ordered them from me last week.
Who'd you work for?
I'm working for Priority One. So
Oh, okay.
the same company that
Yeah.
is here in
Right.
office. So
Oh,
you'll see
okay.
me in the office with Dahlia sometimes.
Mhm.
And then usually like I get comfortable in Abe's office.
Mhm.
That's like my desk. in
Good.
Abe's office.
Excellent. So you're doing both?
Inshallah. I'm gonna try and balance them out
Yeah,
and we'll go from there.
yeah, good,
I have to learn.
good. That's excellent. Eventually I'm gonna get money.
Yeah, inshallah.
But now I'm gonna focus
Yeah.
on just real estate because I'm getting overwhelmed now by these things.
Yeah.
So you gotta really like master one and then move to the next.
My thought process behind it was doing both, because at first I was thinking.
All right, guys, so Team Vamonos is in a meeting right now. I was really waiting for them to come, but they should be coming any in the next 20 minutes. So we're gonna get started. All right. First off, how you guys been doing this last couple weeks, last couple months?
Amazing, offer accepted yesterday.
Offer accepted. What did you do to get that offer accepted?
We had cash.
Cash offer. Okay. Did you go over asking?
Of course.
Still? Okay. Did you do anything about the inspection period?
No inspection.
No inspection. Okay.
20,000 MD.
20,000 MD. Wow. Close in 2 weeks?
7 days.
7 days. Okay, good for you, man. So that's what you need to get an offer accepted in today's market. Your cash buyers are putting the offers, even though you're cash, a lot of people come to you right now and they say, I have cash, I want to get a good deal.
Mhm.
You know, you gotta let them know, like, what's up, Fish? You gotta let them know, cash is just as good as a loan almost in today's day and age, especially because what are buyers doing that are taking mortgages, that are putting offers in 20,000, 30,000 over asking? They're doing appraisal guarantee, right? So that means regardless of what the bank appraises it for, they're gonna pay that amount.
Right,
So now you look at it like a conventional loan is just as good as cash.
right. The only thing is it takes longer with conventional.
That's it. It might take longer, but you never know. Sometimes it takes longer with cash deals too.
Right,
Like last month I had a deal where it was cash and, I was the listing agent. I accepted the cash offer, but the money was in another account and they had to transfer it and that took some time and I ended up closing in a month. I
okay,
said, you know what? I should have taken a conventional loan, 20,000 over that.
Right.
And I would have waited a month anyways.
but how would you know that's gonna happen?
You
don't
never know.
right?
Things happen, right?
Yeah.
Things happen. Just because it's cash doesn't mean it's
Right,
that easily accessible. Sometimes it's in a 401k, sometimes it might be in the stock market, it might be in stocks and pull it out, or it might be a gift cash where somebody's gifting somebody the full cash amount to buy the house. So don't let that cash fool you. You know, it's not always the best offer,
right,
but in this case, it was the best offer, and I think not only because it's cash, but because of the inspection with 20,000 over, 7-day closing. It's all those factors that made his offer the strongest. So congrats to you, Izzy, Zach. We're very happy to have you on our team, and I see a lot of success coming towards your way, hopefully this year. Thank you. All right, so today is opportunities, right? What is the opportunities section? The opportunity is basically a timeline, right? It's a timeline and it's a way to keep track of all your leads. So I've been doing this for 5 years now. And let me tell you, if I would have had this system here for the last 5 years, I probably would have closed over 100 deals last year easily. And let me tell you why, because there's a lot of people you're going to have great conversations with, and you're going to save their number on your phone. But maybe a month, 2 months go by, the buyer gets cold or the seller gets cold, and you just forget about it. You're moving on because you're looking for the next deal, right? A year goes by, you end up seeing a photo of that guy closing on the closing table. Like, how did that happen? I talked to him last year, and it's because we're not following up. We're not staying in touch with those people. And everybody knows this is a numbers business, right? It's all about numbers. How many contacts you reach, how many listings you take, how many buyer appointments you show, all correlate to how many deals you're gonna close, right? So the best way to stay organized with your leads and make sure that your pipeline is always flowing. That way you don't have a successful month and then the next month you're zero. And then you have 2 closings and then 6 closings and then zero, right? We say that a lot where like some people can only handle so many deals. And I went through this my third year, where I would have January, February, March go from like 2 closings, 4, 6, and then zero. Why? Because those 2, 4, and 6, that's 12 deals that I was focused on. That's all I could handle, right? 12 deals I'm working on for the next quarter. When realistically, I should have worked on those 12 and also added more to the pipeline so that when those ones close, I have some guys going under contract, some still going. So if you want to have a consistent business, the money is in the follow-up, right? So to keep track of all your people, we want to use the opportunity section. So I'm just going to break it down very quickly to you here. We're going to start off with listings, and you'll notice there's cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed, right? So cultivate is just a planted seed in the ground, and oh no, I just noticed something. No, I can't do this YouTube. I'm not doing YouTube. So, planted seed in the ground. Now, the nice thing about Command now is that there's actually a checklist over here, and you can customize this checklist to however you want. It's very important to have a process, no matter what stage every person is at. So, for example, when a buyer raises their hand and says, I want to buy a house, what is my process? What do I do as a business owner, right? And then when they say, okay, so you want to add the auto email, right? You add the contact to Command, you add them to a smart plan, maybe a follow-up plan to follow up with that person. So let me just show you a listing appointment, right? So I have this here, scheduling and scheduling, because a lot of times you schedule an appointment, but how many times do they cancel? Or they keep pushing it back, right? Next week, call me back next week, call me back next tomorrow, call me back. So I want to keep track of whoever's there so that I can keep following up with them. Now, the only checklist item is this, is a weekly follow-up call. If I have a two-way conversation with you and we're talking about listing a house, I gotta follow up with you every single week for the rest of the year until I get that listing, right? Because the money's in listings right now. Now, appointment scheduled, right? Go over here, we got 4 checklist items. Appointment scheduled. Prepare CMA listing package. Prepare listing docs. Input listing as a partial save. Usually I'll do that when I'm very confident, like I know I'm gonna get the house. And then scheduled appointment. Now, here's how you check on your checklist items. So now I have the contract signed. I come back to the office and first is coming soon, right? I'm gonna let them know, please declutter your home, get rid of any, clutter that's just sitting around, hide as much as you can. Anything on the countertop, just put it away. That's usually what I like to say. Anything that's just sitting on the countertop, just put it away. Landscaping, schedule professional videos and photos, create a coming soon social media post, order city inspection, order for sale sign, right? These are things that we need to do, right? So if we need to do it, how are we going to keep track of it? This is a great way to keep track of it. So and now it's active. We got 1, collect feedback. Negotiations is not much that goes on there. And that's the active stage. Then we get into under contract. When it goes under contract, now your job started. That's what I think in my head. I think when I go under contract, my job, some people think when they get under contract, that's it. Like that's it. Oh, I got under contract, we're gonna close in a month and we're done. No, that's actually when the job starts, right? Gotta order private inspection, send the PA to the lender and title company. That simple thing right there, just sending the PA to the lender and title company, you'll be surprised how many people forget to do that. And then 3 weeks in the deal, I'm like, hey, what's the update? The lender tells me I didn't even get the PA yet. So we're just sitting here with a signed contract and everybody's sitting just waiting to close and it didn't even get to the lender. So, or better yet, like the owner or the buyer, I mean, will call the lender and say, hey, what's going on? I'm waiting for my loan. Then he says, well, the agent hasn't sent me the PA yet. That buyer's gonna be really, really pissed off at the whoever's buyer's agent that is. So mistakes happen. We're just gonna try to limit them. Mark pending on MLS, upload signed docs to command, verify the EMD, upload important dates and deadlines. So occupancy dates. You know, when are they moving in? When are they moving out? Closing date. When is the closing date? When is the final water leak? You know, these are things that are all very important dates that we need to keep track of, especially occupancy. Then we got like the appraisal for the schedule, the appraisal repairs if necessary, appraisals in. Boom, done. Financing. Order final water bill, schedule closing, right? Clear to close, schedule closing, review closing docs, create a commission tab, transfer DT. Make sure the client transfers it, in other words. And closed, send a Zillow review link and a Google review link. Follow up with the buyer or seller after the home is sold. See how everything is. Here's the buyer's checklist. Buyer's checklist is a little bit more because there's more things that you have to do to a buyer to maintain them, keep them in your pipeline. Because a buyer can go here, can go there, right? Once you got a listing, that's it. Boom, your sign's in the ground. You ain't going nowhere, right? But when you get a buyer, you can go anywhere.
Okay, so you said for the listing.
Mhm.
Is it our job as listing agent to send the PA? No,
So the lender?
yeah,
No, but the title company.
right, the
Yeah.
title company.
Personally, I put that in there because I do send it to the lender.
Okay, so it's
Because the
okay.
pre-approval has a lender's name on it. Yeah,
Right.
so I'll put an email,
So we're the listing agent. We sold the
Yeah.
property, so we got another.
you got an
agent.
offer,
Yes,
you guys signed it. It has a
Right.
pre-approval on it
right.
with the lender's information.
Mhm.
So when you send the PA back to the buyer's agent,
Right,
if you want to take it one step ahead,
yes,
send the email with the lender's email, with the title company's email and the buyer's agent. And Sandy from our title company and our,
so send it to them.
and then send it to them.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I have attached all parties to this email. Please see the fully executed agreement below. I look forward to working with you guys. Like now you're not waiting on the buyer's agent to send the PA to the lender, but you already did that, you took care of it, you're done. Because your seller will get mad at you too if the buyer hasn't sent the PA, the buyer's agent didn't send the PA to the lender, and the deal's taking long. So I'm saying what the hell I'm looking for. So, yeah, I actually do that. That's something different that I do. Buyer, new lead, follow-up call every week. Add to auto email, download my app, biweekly smart plan, which is every 2 weeks showing them what's going on in the neighborhoods that they're looking in. Appointment, searching, they're either searching for a home like online, they haven't seen any homes yet. And then once they get pre-approved, I move them over here. And then I changed my stages. Your stages look different right now, but you can change these up here, edit stages. And you can change this, you can add a stage, you can remove it. I have class C, B, and A buyer. So my class A buyer is like needs to buy a house right now. They're ready to go. They're very motivated. I'm showing them houses on a weekly. My class B buyers, they're serious, but they just don't. They're not acting. Their motivation is probably like an 8 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10, right? But they're qualified. They're ready to go. Class C buyers are pre-approved. But they're like, I'm gonna wait for the market to settle down, or if I see something that I like, I'll send you it. Those kind of buyers. So very simple follow-up. Second follow-up, go over criteria. You know, if they can't find what they're looking for, hey, are you still looking for a home in West Dearborn? Are you still looking for 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a finished basement? They might tell you, you know what, I haven't found anything in my search for 150 with 3 bedrooms and a basement. So you know what, I don't need a basement. So now you go back to the auto email and you remove basements. Now they're getting houses without basements. So it's good. Like when they're searching for a long time and they just can't seem to strike something, then that's when you want to go over the criteria on them. Hey, let's go over what you're looking at. Okay, you're looking for a house in West Dearborn, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, finished basement for 150. Is that right? Yeah. Well, you know, like after they're searching and they say, yeah, you know, I don't think I'm gonna find it. I might just settle for 2 bedrooms. So that's gonna help you remotivate them and bring them back into the pipeline. Wednesday weekly follow-ups for my Class B buyers, Class A buyers, Wednesday weekly follow-up. Under contract. All right, here's where the job started. right? That's where the job starts. There's escrow, inspections, appraisal, financing, and critical. So escrow, I want to collect the EMD from the buyer. I want to order title work, send the PA to the lender, and order the private inspection. Fair enough. Go to the inspections. We're going to send the inspection report to the client. But now there's a satisfactory/unsatisfactory inspection addendum that you can find in Remind. And pretty much what it does is it covers your back and it says, hey, we are satisfied and we are moving forward with the deal, which I'll do that sometimes, not all the time. But the unsatisfactory inspection report, you absolutely need. When you're not happy with an inspection, make sure right away you draft that addendum. We are unsatisfied and EMD is going back to buyer for $3,000. City inspection complete. That's just something extra to make sure, because when you're in pending, the last thing you want is to get to clear close and we're waiting on the city inspection from the seller. So even though, yeah, we are the buyer's agent, but we're gonna make sure the city inspection is done, because we're gonna take that extra step to make sure our buyer is ensured that he's gonna close on time. Appraisal in, check on city inspection. Clear to close.
City inspection versus private inspection.
The city inspection, you shouldn't even compare it to a private inspection, because it's just keeping the house up to code
Okay.
by upgrading maybe an electrical plug or.
Right.
Yeah, and they don't really look into the stuff and say, okay, this is not safe.
Yeah, how about like foundation issue, do they, no?
No,
That's
they won't
right.
look at foundation. Very, very rare, unless, I don't think they ever look at foundation, honestly. I've never had them point out any foundational issues. Only hazardous things like wires, open wire, something that could, hurt somebody. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, if you want to just play around with it, go into your listings and go to edit stages. And you can go in here and you can change whatever you want. If I don't like this checklist item, I can add another one. I can remove it if I want to add an extra stage. But what I really want you to do is here. Let me pull up this whiteboard. Okay, so here's what I did. So I went like cultivate, and then I'm writing down, okay, what do I do when a client comes in? Right, first we're gonna do seller. Right, cultivate. Okay, what are the first things I'm gonna do when I get a seller's lead? Right, CMA, listing presentation. Sorry, my handwriting's so bad and I don't have a pen. Then cultivate, there's appointment. Then there's active, under contract, and then closed. I want you to do this on a separate notebook, okay? And just write down at least 3 things that you're gonna do when a client is in cultivate, when a client is at appointment, when a client is in active, under contract, closed. You gotta have a process. Why is it important to have a process? Because you don't want some clients, do you ever feel like some clients, you give them your A1 service, but really there's some clients that you really don't give them the same service, right? Is it fair for those 2 clients? Sometimes the client that you don't give much service to will end up closing the deal. And then the one that you give the A1 service to will end up leaving it for somebody else. That's the reality of it. So you want to make sure everyone's getting the great service that you provide. And you want everyone to say the same thing about you. You want everyone to say the same thing about you. This guy's reliant. He answers the phone whenever. He's always on top of things. He never misses anything. You get a lot of people saying the same things, and everybody's like, hey, no, I hear only good things about you. Everyone keeps saying that this or you're this. So to make sure that you maintain that reputation, because people are going to hold you to that high standard when they start hearing how good you are and how you produce and how professional you are. they're gonna hold you to that standard. So when the next person comes to you, the referral, and you treat him a little bit less because that you really made the money off his friend, and he's just the extra, the referral, the bonus.
Yeah.
They don't want to feel like that. You got to take special care of everybody, make sure everyone has the same exact process. That way you can say in the end of the year, like, great, I treated every one of my clients right. I did a great service for all of them, and I made sure that I did the same things for everybody. I did not treat anyone unfair or unequal, especially in today's day and age where we have fair housing, we have discrimination,
Yeah.
LGBTQ. These are the things we can get sued on. If they feel the slight bit that we're not treating them right, or we're not giving them the same service as everybody else. This is the day and age where people like to cancel you for that. You know what I'm saying? So be extra cautious. With that being said, compliance fees, keep them at a standard. Whatever you're gonna charge, keep them at a standard. Compliance fee? Yeah, everyone's.
Oh, seller and buyer.
Yes, because it's a transaction. You put it together, we're holding their records for
Yes.
so many years. So we always charge a compliance fee. Make sure it's just the same, whatever it is,
Yeah, same number.
keep it the same number. Don't charge more to one client than another. Because that could have a backfire on you, so. So we got that. Let's go back to the screen.
Sorry.
Does anyone have any questions on Zoom? What's up, John?
What up, H-Baz?
Hey. You guys have any questions about me? Does it make sense?
Yes,
Is it simple?
I did not know that you have it all broken down with that.
The checklist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very important.
I just did that like 2 months ago. I've always had one, but I perfected it 2 months ago.
So is that on command?
Yeah.
Okay,
You just gotta customize it the way you like it.
right. But it's
The only thing that are
information
preset, set in
that's-
stone are these. Cultivate, employment, active under contract. Under these, you can do whatever you want. You can name it whatever you want, the stage, you can
Right.
put what you want in the checklist item. So it's nice too, because it calculates it. Like, okay, I can look at this right now and tell you, I'm not having a great month next month. I'm not gonna have a great quarter this quarter, first quarter. Why? Because like I got, okay, 0 active under contract. These 2 are gonna close out. And then boom, I'm on 0 listings, and then this one's gonna close out, and then I'm on 0 buyers. So I have 3 in the pipeline now. So what does that tell me? I gotta add some people over here. I gotta bring some follow up with these ones, bring them over there. I gotta follow up with these 16 buyers, get them back in there. So like this is your vision for the next 3 months, for the next year. And when I see that number, like potential income, 134,000. So you're telling me if I close these 16 buyers right here, I can make $134,000? That's motivating right there. Like whenever you're feeling down, like, oh, I don't have enough business right now, I feel like I have nothing right now. But in reality, I do. I have 16 plus 5 plus 10. That's 31 buyers, potential buyers that I'm not talking to right now. So I'm gonna talk to them all. I'm gonna add a few more in there and just keep following up with all of them so I can get them all showing houses and hopefully get that number right there. And then that number for the listing so I can go back on vacation. Cool, right? Well, thanks for attending my class. Do you guys have any questions? You guys can always come to me. I have an open door policy.